Hello, ladies, and welcome to It's Time for Tea. My name is Princess Nay, and this is my femininity channel that I decided to share with you. Before we get started, ladies, please follow me on Instagram at Call Me Princess Nay. You can follow my business page at The Indigo Woman on Instagram. And ladies, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, ladies, I am almost done the Facebook page. For you Lux ladies to go in there and just talk about, dating tips or like what kind of men to date or, where to find high value men in my Facebook page. It's going to be called Luxury Dating for Black Women. I had changed my name and everything, and I just have to add just a few more rules and then I'll be done. But ladies, I will post that in a picture on YouTube, and I will also post it on my Instagram, so then you can have the link to both. Okay, ladies, so now let's get started. So today I want to discuss the kind of men we should all be avoiding in 2022. Now, to be clear, I want you to look out for these kind of red flags so you don't waste your time in a dating stage, let alone a relationship, when you could be giving that time to another man who will satisfy all your needs in all areas. I know we all have seen devonfranklin and megangood's marriages fall apart, unfortunately, but I am here to tell you why we shouldn't glamorize celebrity marriages and become more realistic with our everyday lifestyles, let alone dating circles. I don't know much exactly what happened with devonfranklin and megangood's marriage, but what I do know is that sometime when you're basically unequally yoked, these type of things happen. It seems as though he was more so in his Christian faith, and Megan could have been, more worldly due to the type of roles that she wanted to take. And that's a bit hard, when you're a Christian and you're an actress and they want you to take sexual roles and you have to perform sex on TV or get naked. It's just very hard. So when you do get married or meet a partner, as long as they're not doing anything to disrespect your relationship, I think you'll be fine. But those type of things are definitely something you should not overlook when you're in a relationship, let alone before you get to a marriage. And I don't know everything that happened in marriage. I'm just going off what the rumors have said. But I do know when you're not equally yoked, it will end a divorce. And unfortunately, that's what happened between the two couple. Now, for starters, let's discuss Mr. Fornication / the worldly man. One thing I have noticed in this generation is that sex is pushed harder in every area possible. And unfortunately, I think as a feminine woman, you need to have boundaries, let alone standards that you just stick to. The worldly man is someone who not only brags about sex online, but has a porn addiction and he watches porn regularly, but possibly want to introduce you to it as well. This man often tries to prey on classy women who he see as considered as good girls, or women who are possibly Christian or Muslim and are into their faith. Ladies, as feminine women, we have to become very strong when it comes to the flesh, let alone the lust factor in relationships. And I honestly cannot push this enough that there's a lot of men who come off on women in a very sexual way, but there's also women who also come off on men in a very sexual way in this generation, and we have to hold ourselves accountable if that was ever us during our journey. But when you're in the dating stage, having sex should be one of the last things you're actually worried about. But once you become too easily to get in bed, that's when your value goes down a lot. And you shouldn't even indulge in sexual conversations with men. You should stop that right at the door. You don't have to say it nasty. You just have him have a clear understanding that you're just not going to talk about that. Because if you do talk about that or actually have sex too early, he's going to brag about it to his homeboys and label you as a fake Christian or a fake Muslim, and that you don't want. Always remember, a man can see a Christian or a Muslim woman or a woman with zero religion, and he just won't take you serious if you're easy to get in the bed. And that's something that women have to know. We hold all the power with how a man treats us, so it's no need to allow a man to get close to you like that if he has not put in any type of work and proved to you that he only wants to be with you and want you only. Number two, let's talk about the abuser. Now, one thing I do not allow are men to raise their voices at me, to yell, cuss, or even hit me. I notice a lot of men enjoy testing women in the beginning stages to see what they can get away with. If they are immature, they have one test after another. And if you fail any of them, that's when the grown boy tends to kick in. Your time will be wasted and things will begin to go south. Now, if he is doing all of this in the first 3 months, he is someone you should probably walk away from. I am all for having proper communication, which if a man will try any of those things I mentioned, besides the hitting, it's okay to properly sit him down and talk to him and tell him how he just cannot talk to you that way, yeah, or cuss or anything like that. And if it happens again, you can also tell him, basically there's a door and you can go. Now, the reason I want you ladies to say things in your most calmest voice when you're speaking to men is because men do not take in things easily when we're yelling or cussing back at them. For whatever reason, they are like a more calming setting. And if a man sees that you're cussing and yelling back at him, he understands that now he's controlling you emotionally, and that you don't want. Unfortunately, men just do not communicate in a way of cussing and all of that. Even if they do it, when a woman does it back, they like shut down. I remember when I was in a relationship in my earlier 20s, and my boyfriend at the time cursed at me, and I sat him down, spoke to him calmly, how I do not allow men, or anyone for that matter, to talk to me that way. And if he was going to do it again, we just would go on our separate ways, and I just wasn't even going to discuss it with him. He quickly got it together, and we didn't never have to have that conversation again. And after that, he spoke to me very calmly and did not cuss. And that's just something you have to get to. If you're looking to grow into the best version of yourself in your relationship, it's just best to have great communication or what, you both like and what you will not put up with. Number three, let's talk about the materialistic buyer. Now, like any other woman, I like to be spoiled with love, commitment, and gifts. However, as a feminine woman who values my self-worth over everything, you should never get caught up with a man who can buy you things if his behavior is completely toxic. I see a lot of rapper baby mamas being treated by men in the worst ways, and they just find it okay because he can provide. And to the public, they're more concerned about flexing on the gram, and that's just not healthy, nor something you should be following. You never want to be put in a position where someone thinks you need them, and when they know that you need them, they use that as leverage over your head. This is why I recommend women to have a level of independence before you get into a relationship, let alone a marriage. So a man has a clear understanding you just aren't that type of woman that's going to allow that type of behavior, regardless of what he can provide. Number four, let's talk about the bum. This is a self-centered man who wants to suck women dry of everything and give the bare minimum when it comes to relationships. This is also the man who will ask you to either move into your house with you or move into a house that you're still living with your parents, just so he can pay less when it comes to bills. Normally, to spot this kind of man is through the dating stage when he doesn't feel it's necessary to take you on proper dates, but rather you come back to his house and chill or sit in the car while he smoke or just talk. And that's some of the most low value thing I've ever seen. I used to date a guy like that, and within a few weeks I got rid of him, and that was my last official relationship that I actually cared for. After that, I knew I wasn't settling for anything less, and that was the peak of my level of journey where things really started to shift and change for myself, and what I decided to settle for. And settling for that type of stuff just wasn't an option. I always knew I deserved more, but it wasn't until I started my femininity journey that I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go out and get more, and I'm just not going to settle for less. Always remember, ladies, unless you allow a man to lead in love, you will always receive less. Number five, let's talk about Mr. Flashy. Now, nothing annoys me more is when a man is on social media and he wants to impress other men by showing off his sneakers, his watches, his clothes, his cars, or whatever he has to make himself feel important. I am not sure about you ladies, but I would rather be with a man who's laid back and out the mix of things versus worshiping materialistic things. Now, I want my future man to be open to traveling and luxury experiences, but trying to be dripped in designer all the time with a 10 diamond chains on your necks, or buying 10 cars at once, or wearing ski masks. It's just someone you would never see me attached to, let alone being on someone's arm like that. When men normally do that, it screams I never had, and most definitely someone who hasn't matured and probably never will. You also have to watch this kind of man because he sometimes has bad hygiene. And when you're dealing with an immature man, you will think it's okay to skip baths and put on clean clothes as if that's what grown men should be doing. I find that to be a major red flag for myself because men like that enjoy having bad hygiene, can easily give you bacterial vaginosis, let alone yeast infections. And that is just something I refuse to deal with. A man couldn't even sit on my bed with his day clothes, let alone get in my bed with his day clothes, because I just do not allow that. I'm a germaphobe. I just do not allow dirtiness in my space. As a feminine woman, you should always keep a clean space, and I have mentioned that previously on this page. Number 6, the male feminist. Now, I'm aware some of you are feminists, and I'm completely against that kind of label for myself. However, when I hear men talking or telling women they are male feminists, I literally just laugh. You have to watch out for these kind of men because they will make it seem like they want the very best for you and they're very supportive in certain areas for you so you can be equal. But in reality, they may come from backgrounds where their mother had to struggle a lot when it comes to paying bills, and they may view women the same way, as if nobody helped my mom, I shouldn't be helping you in certain areas and something like that. They do go after strong, independent women on purpose to live off these women. And these are normally women who are in the early stages of their relationship and telling men they don't need anything from them, which sends a signal to a man to not do anything, which will show him he can use you by asking for money, to use your car, or move in with you. I see this happening all the time, and I'm the first to tell you I'm not allowing nobody's son to play with me like that. If he isn't a man who can provide and stand on his own 2 feet, he couldn't even be in my presence, to say the least. Number 7, the grown boy. Now, when I mention a grown boy, this is someone who seeks women who are in desperation moods. This often happens to older women who go after younger men just so they can have someone, or women who would take care of a man just to feel loved. I often see women saying online that they enjoy spoiling men or buying them things, and I just laugh because I'm like, sis, you should not be doing that. You should be allowing a man to court you, and you should be sitting back in your femininity. Now, these kind of men often goes after women who give them mother vibes as well. Most men are used to women who enjoy washing their clothes, cooking, cleaning, and they are taught this is how you keep a man. Listen, being a good cook or a house cleaner doesn't make you a good woman. It makes you a maid, and that's the honest truth. I do not recommend you doing any of that, let alone seeing the inside of a man's house for at least 2 months into the relationship. This is after he has asked you to be his woman and wants to move forward with a relationship, past dating and stuff like that. I think 4 to 6 months mark for a man to do any form of cooking would be okay and beneficial. This is another reason why I tell you ladies to never tell a man more than he needs to know, which also includes any past relationships you were in or what exactly happened in relationships. If you feel the need to cook and clean at your own home. And if he's looking for a woman to do that too early, tell her to hire help. I mean, there's always house cleaners or home people who will come in and cook meals and stuff like that. This also includes not giving a man your social media handles in the dating stage if you could prevent it, because men judge you off what they see online. And if they see something they don't like, or you're not doing something that's going to satisfy his toxic behaviors, he has nothing to judge you off of, which will keep away any arguments and stuff like that. Because, you know, some men, they will start arguments with women who they want to get away from, and they will storm out and stuff like that. And you just shouldn't be dealing with men like that. Overall, ladies, when it comes to relationships, being in a relationship, it's good to have great communication skills. If you allow certain things to slide, these men will start ice skating, and you don't want that for 2022, because we're not losing sleep behind these type of men. We're just replacing them and moving on. But that is all for today, ladies. Remain classy and beautiful. Mwah.